Oh, there is a tractor. Oh, there's a moving tractor. This is some serious farmland missioning, man.
Welcome back to the GeoWizard channel, everyone. The home of the mischievous adventure and the birthplace of the straight line mission.
Am I mad?
For 5 years now, you've watched me battle my way through brambles, scale my way up cliffs, wade through rivers and swamps, and evade angry farmers, all in the name of the seemingly pointless task of crossing a country in a perfectly straight line. But what started out as an exciting quest to attempt something that had never been done before, with some weird and wonderful obstacles thrown in just for fun, and a general let's see how far we get sort of attitude, gradually morphed into something that resembled more of a covert military operation than an adventure. That covert military operation hit new heights in January 23 with my long overdue successful crossing of Wales, and peaks right here with what is without question the most ambitious and challenging straight line mission ever attempted.
Honestly, man, it's moments like this where I think, why am I doing this?
But for the 7th time, why? Wasn't Wales enough, I hear some of you ask? Can't you go back to having fun again with your caravan parks and manor houses? I'm afraid not. In fact, pretty much as soon as Wales was done, I had my sights set on the big one. And there were two pretty good reasons for this. Firstly, and probably most significantly, competition. Despite the disrespectful slander that they like to fire over at me,
would GeoWizard be able to do this?
No chance, they would have gone home by then.
the field houses and myself have forged an amicable relationship as well as a healthy rivalry. They let me go first for Wales Attempt 4, and I agreed to race them across the Isle of Man in December.
Idiots.
We both knew that England was possible, just as we both knew that whoever completes it effectively gains the title of current heavyweight champion of straight line missions. All it took was the suggestion of it shortly after our respective Wales successes, and that was it. England was in both of our calendars for the following winter. Something I doubt would have happened if not for the existence of the other party. But if ambition and glory weren't good enough reasons to conquer England in early 24, there was another, even more wholesome one. It thrills me to announce that me and Verity are expecting a baby. In fact, if you're watching this on or around the release date, she could literally be squeezing her way out as I speak. Now don't worry, straight line missions aren't going to become a thing of the past just because I'm a dad. But missions of this magnitude, and by that I mean sheer length, but also danger and legalness, aren't really something I want to be carrying out when I have a baby. With the nipper growing each day, and with word from ever confident recent Isle of Man victors Archie and Adam that they'd be making their attempt in late Jan, there was, once again, a great deal of pressure but also a huge hunger to get this done. It was basically a repeat of last year with Wales in that failure was not an option, except the actual task in question was borderline insane.
Am I mentally strong? I don't feel it at the moment.
But what is it that makes a mission across England so monumentally difficult? Firstly, it's important to mention that this is the only area in the entirety of England that a straight line crossing is both feasible and acceptable as a country crossing. There is some debate around what qualifies as a crossing and what doesn't, but I think most of you can agree that while these examples definitely aren't acceptable, this one is, because of how squarely the border with Scotland cuts across from coast to coast. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to be able to cross down here somewhere, but because of various urban areas, not to mention a frankly heart attack inducing amount of farmland, it's just not possible. So, the borderlands of Northumberland and Cumbria are the choice. Up here there's far less people and a much more manageable amount of farmland, making it possible, but by no means easy. Coming in at just under 70 miles, over twice as long as 3 of my Wales missions, it was big. And there's a reason that there isn't much farmland up here too. It's mountainous, and those mountains are cold, wet, and covered in either spongy heather or gigantic pine plantations. The main one, Kielder Forest, being by far the biggest in the country. Getting over this 40-mile middle section would be an incredibly grueling task in of itself. But what makes this mission such a daunting prospect, especially for a solo missioner, which is what I would be on this occasion, is that even if you do make it out of that, you still have a fair bit of farmland to get through. Imagine for a moment that you've survived the early farmland and then battled your way through cold, wet forests and moors for 4 days straight, hitting all manner of mental highs and lows, only to be caught here by an unsympathetic farmer and sent packing. In short, the width makes it harder, makes you more likely to fail, and makes it all the more heartbreaking if you do. Of course, there would be other obstacles too. Europe's largest reservoir, for one, as well as 2 private hunting estates, countless swollen rivers, oceans of fallen trees, but definitely not any high-speed railway tracks or military firing ranges containing unexploded shells. Whether that last line was a lie or not, this was a monumental undertaking, and as a result, strategy this time had to be different. And when I say different, I mean Archie and Adam different. Yep, if I wanted to beat them, I was gonna have to join them on this occasion. Not literally, of course, because they'd slow me down. What I mean is, if my mission was to have any chance of success, I was gonna need a support crew and a van. Camper van. Look at this, man. Got ourselves a little mobile home for the mission. Doing it Archie and Adam style. It's gonna be great, man. Benny boy.
Sick.
It's good, isn't it? How you doing, mate? You're right.
Yeah,
Sweet.
this thing is
It's class, isn't it, man? I've left the lights on.
That's right, helping me out on this trip would be familiar face Ben Cook, whose ultra running experience, rational outlook and chirpy northern sense of humour would blend perfectly with Verity's organisational skills and caringness. Even with a van though, this dynamic duo would still struggle to stay on top of things logistically. There are barely any accessible roads in those central areas, let alone villages, and while the van would give me the best chance of sleeping safely on the line, as well as keep me warm, dry, well fed, and perhaps most important of all, sane, it only takes a second for a plan A to become a plan B. And while scouting out places to sleep on our detour to Kielder Water, we were swiftly reminded of that fact. Bit of an update. We're stuck.
Oh God, look at that.
We'll not try that again on the rest of the trip, yeah?
No.
Yeah.
The other thing that needed to go up a notch or two on this mission was speed, even more so than Wales 4. For a start, I really didn't want to be out there for 7 or 8 days, not least because I might have to start again. But for so many reasons, an ultralight pack was the choice. It would take less of a toll on my body, give me the best chance of reaching the van before dark in those mountainous or foresty areas, and it would come in equally useful in the farmland, where, as we've learned so many times now,
Mate, he's coming through here. Mate, run over that fence. Mate, we got it.
speed is key. My aim was to run whenever possible, eat on the move, take less breaks, and minimise fiddly and time-consuming camera shots. I even planned to do 2 small sections in the dark to minimise the chances of being caught. These things will combine to give this series a slightly different vibe to previous ones, but I can't stress to you enough that this time, perhaps more than ever before, it was about getting it done. Who knows, in a week's time I could be arriving at this absolutely stunning beach overlooked by the mighty Bamberg Castle, victorious. Right now though, that felt like worlds away. Well, these are the lands of day one that we're passing through now. And looks pretty farmy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Pretty farmy, the hedges are
Pretty farm right here.
pretty beastie. After making a solitary water stash 4 miles from the coast, all good? Yeah, nice, yeah, perfect. We indulged in our last supper, or at least 2 of us did. Ben,
Yes, mate.
what the f*** are you doing?
Just having a breakfast at 6 o'clock in the afternoon, in the evening even. Breakfast and a Guinness, because I can.
We then drove to a suitable spot not too far from the start point, where we hunkered down for the night. Eve of the mission. What are the eve of the mission thoughts? It's nerves as usual, but that's only human. My instinct is, maybe this is just I'm thinking negatively, but I actually think I'll get caught tomorrow by a farmer. Whether he'll let me continue, possibly.
You've run across plenty of farmland where you've not been caught, so what is it about tomorrow that makes you think that you are?
It's the longest section of farmland I've ever done. But if I get through without being caught, I'll be buzzing. Yeah. The tough thing is about this mission, any other mission, getting through 15 miles of farmland unscathed would be like, hallelujah, that's like half the way. Yeah. But with this one, it's like, I've still got 50 odd miles to do.
56 miles nearly.
There's no two ways about it. It's going to be tough, this, but I couldn't be in the better company.
Just got to use all the skills you've gained on the previous, 7 straight line missions that you've done now.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Put them to the test.
Yeah, and Archie and Adam, they're spurring me on without even having lifted a finger yet. So we rise at we rise at daybreak. Just doesn't even come into it. We rise like probably 3 hours before daybreak. I'm going to get all my clobber on. We're going to drive over to near the start point, and it's in the lap of the farming gods, really. How are you feeling, Verity?
I don't know, nervous, I guess. Just taking each day as it comes, so I'm only looking at tomorrow.
Good.
I'm not looking at the
like a
days
football
after.
manager. You know,
Yeah.
we're taking each match as it comes.
Yeah.
Not thinking about the title. Ben, do you think this is going to be a success?
I do, man. I'm excited.
It really is 50-50 in my eyes. I'm going to give it my best damn shot, starting sharpish tomorrow morning. So we'll see you there. Good night. We are up. Whoa. It's a nippy morning. Could be worse though. Could be raining. I really wasn't mad on the idea of being caught on day one and having to start again. So, after some deliberation, we landed on a 7 AM start. This compromise would allow me to sneak past the horribly exposed first 3 farms and the flat, hedgy fields that surrounded them before sunrise, and would give me a fighting chance of sneaking my way through the rest of the farmland, which on Sunday should be relatively farmer-free in the daytime. The starting point was accessible only via this long dead-end lane that led to a farm. So, keen not to alert its occupants of my arrival, we parked a mile down the road and, buoyed by my irrational excitement to try out these maximum thickness cut-proof gloves purchased from B&Q the day before.
Cheers. Good luck. I'll see you later on.
Yeah. I snuck past the farm for the first time, and a couple of fences later, it was showtime. Okay, we can get down here. Try not to fall in. There we go. Right guys, this one really does have to be quick. You are looking at the river line, which is tidal. Just over there, it flows into an estuary, and just round the corner into the Irish Sea. This is mission across England. By far and wide, no pun intended, the most ambitious thing I've ever attempted in my entire life. I cannot believe I'm doing this. I don't know if I'll succeed, but let's give it a go. I will be buzzing if I get past day one. Okay, and we begin. Torch can be on medium setting for now, but
it will have to come off at times when I'm nearing a farm. I know for a fact I've got to go through this huge swathe of water, flood water, straight away. Me, that is deep. Oh my god. Oh that's gone right into my shoes already. Over the top of the sealskins. Great. Fence 1. Fence 2. And there's a ditch. I'm going under. I'm going under. Headlamp's got to go off now as we pass the first farm.
One of the things that had put me off moving through farmland at night was herds of cows. Based on my scout's drone footage, it seemed that they were all tucked up inside, but that was last week.
Oh, there's cows in this field.
With lights on at the farm just to my left, it was me versus the cows. And who do you think had the better night vision?
I think I can see them. I'll just stay silent and listen to hooves. I think they're coming. Don't like this. They're really close now.
But luckily, they kept their distance.
Okay, I think I'm alright. It's bad news that cows are out though.
With multiple farm lights now on, the head torch had to stay off while I attempted not to stab myself on 2 more hawthorn hedges.
These gloves don't work.
And before long, I'd reached the first road.
I know where we are. Is this a big drop? It is a bit. Here it is. And I'm down.
As unentertaining as this might be for you, this was the perfect level of light. I could just about see where I was going, but no one could see me. It felt like I was wearing an invisibility cloak. Hawthorn twigs to the eye were a threat, but the hedges were alright at the moment, and if it stayed that way, there'd be nothing to slow me down. Except maybe water.
Oh shit, this is deep. I don't think I can jump this. But I've got to hurry up, haven't I? Oh! Okay, not too bad. Bit of a main road here. Nobody here though. Another brook. Oh. Yes. Could easily have a farmer walking his dog at this time. Tons of sheep in this field. Think of Marcus. Another brook down here, and that's wide. I don't think I'm jumping that one. Oh dear. And torch off. Okay. I think I get to go down this road now. Yeah. Oh, hallelujah. Okay, we're approaching the times now, guys, where you're going to be able to start seeing something, but the farmers are going to be able to see me.
The farmer situation was now in the lap of the gods, and already there were signs of life.
I just heard movement in that farm. Tractors or machinery. Not a great omen. There's definitely people up and about over there.
Keen to make as much ground as I possibly could while I was still invisible to farmers, I made my inevitable GoPro strap swap a swift one and ploughed deeper into the Cumbrian countryside.
I don't know how much you saw of that, but it had to be done. In fact, if I get caught today, the whole of this 10 miles will be have to done in darkness in the early hours of tomorrow morning. But the good news is, guys, there was nothing too testing then. So I do feel like I could do it in the pitch black. Okay, let's hope this forest doesn't slow me down too much.
Forests would go on to play more of a role than I could have ever imagined on this mission, even on this first day. This one, though, thankfully, was pretty straightforward.
This forest feels like a bit of a milestone in the sense that when I get out of this forest, it's going to be broad daylight. People are going to be awake and walking around. It's a Sunday morning, and I don't think I can get away with suspiciously darting across fields anymore. My approach now has just got to be walk casually. I'm doing this mad feat, but I'm a friendly guy. I might try and bribe you, but I will peacefully and willingly get off your land. There's going to be no bad blood in the air, and then I'm going to come back at the dead of night and cross it again. For once, the idea of a farmer encounter doesn't chill me to the bone. I'm ready for it, kind of.
Coming up in just a few fields' time was the most pivotal obstacle of the day, Tractor Farm. Named so because both times I'd laid eyes on it, on last night's water stash and on the drone footage, the farmer was hard at work on his tractor. What worried me about this farm though wasn't so much the farmyard or the frenetic farmer who operated it, but rather his poor neglected wife, who had every chance of seeing me through the big Victorian windows at the front of the farmhouse that overlooked the final field so watchfully.
The chances of someone being in the window are quite high at the moment.
After tussling with another series of nasty hedges, the worst saved till last,
What do I do here?
it was time for action.
Time for a drink stop, I think. Oh, look at that. Doesn't seem to be, without jinxing it, much activity, so I'm just going to go for it. Never know, it might be fine. Oh, there's a tractor coming. Can he see me? Don't think he can. And I've retreated. What are the odds of that? The same exact movement as in the drone footage.
The farmer was working on something in the next field right on my line.
Me.
And whatever he was doing, it didn't seem like he'd be finished anytime soon.
This is not good. I'm willing to wait, I think. I can at least watch his pattern, get to that hedge when he's there, and then when he's gone, make a run for it. If it takes a couple of minutes. This is Mission Impossible stuff. He's been gone for quite some time now. I don't know if this is the right move, but I think I'm going to go for it. He's definitely working in his farmyard, but maybe I can slip past. And I need a banging shit as well. But what can I do?
But my offensive was once again abruptly halted.
No, he's moving again. He's doing the same thing as he was before about 10 minutes ago. He's picking something up. Yeah, exactly the same motion. And I think he's going back. Yeah, so I'm going. If that's his pattern, that is a long pattern.
As I approached the battleground, Ben's words about how I'd never actually been caught by a farmer arm wrestled in my head against, well, this. And guess which one was louder?
This is mental. Can I do this?
Up close, the imposing windows on the farmhouse made me hesitant, but there was no time like now.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
One thing I'd been worried about was getting stuck at this hedgerow, but to my delight, there were gaps.
Okay, step one done.
Curious sheep to my left distracted me momentarily from the real threat, which was the farmer who I was now in plain view of.
He might have seen me. There's every chance.
But true to Ben's word, I seemed to have slipped through undetected.
I may have gotten away with that, and it's into the safety of this little wood. Oh, a majestic hare, and I can hear him. I'm not entirely safe yet, but I think he might have been just so wrapped up in his work that I just slipped through. That was tense, man. Well, I don't know how lucky I was there, but what I do know is that I've done 4.5 miles in an hour and 40. We're sort of halfway through the bad farmland and we're past the worst farm. It's not to say I won't get caught, but I don't have to skirt quite so close to a farmyard again. How about the timing of that? Anyway, let's move on. I do feel really good now. I feel like the odds of completing the mission now went from 50-50 to 60-40 in that one fell swoop.
The problem was, of course, I was now quite attached to this run and suddenly pretty keen to preserve it.
Really is just livestock central round here.
The laid-back approach was nice while it lasted, but it was over. And with another hefty farmstead coming up on my right, it was straight back into full mission mode.
There's a tractor over there. Hopefully he hasn't seen me.
I'd have been quite visible to the tractor had he have looked to his left, but because he was heading in the opposite direction, I figured it didn't really matter. What I didn't figure
You turnip.
is that he might have turned left and be heading straight for the farm.
Oh, there is a tractor. What do I do here? I think I sit down. It. That's not good. Let's hope he hasn't seen me. I don't think he will have done. But this hedge is awful.
To make matters worse, the farm, which was just the other side of the track, was abuzz with cow, dog and man.
That farmer just yelled, man. I don't really fancy the combo of climbing this hedge and skirting past this farm. What I really want is for that farmer to go. I don't know what the chances of that happening are, but yeah, I feel a bit stuck. The thing is, I physically don't know how I'm going to get over this hedgerow. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. And I still need a shit.
But then I noticed something.
Ooh, 23 metres left. There's a gap apparently. Shall I just get onto that track? Yeah. Let's do that. I don't know why I didn't see that.
This gap was one of many marked out in my plans designed to get me out of these exact types of pickles. I'd missed it because I was so zoomed in on the GPS and it was a wide one. So wide in fact that it took me right to the very precipice of the platinum zone. I should mention though that while I was going to give it a bloody good go, staying in platinum was not top priority on this mission. If at any point I felt like I was risking being seen and caught, I was quite happy to stray into gold and stay in the game. I'd avoided it this time, but by no means was I safe yet.
Do I just go for it? Yeah, I'm going to go for it. Let's go.
It was another exposed affair at farm number 5, but there was no sign of shouty farmer, and I slipped through the first field unseen.
Okay. Good. Oh yes, I like that a lot.
At this point, the farm encounters were actually giving me confidence that I could get that close and personal to them
And we're out of view.
and make it through without being seen.
This is some serious farmland missioning, man.
On the flip side, the more ground I made, the more I despised the idea of starting again.
God, I am very in view of several big white farmhouses. There's one over there as well. And this farm is huge.
Farm number 6 wasn't super close to the line, but the layout and the sheer exposure of it made it a pretty nervy one. I couldn't hear a thing, which was a good sign, but as I'd learned all too recently,
I got lost!
folks can bolt out of their houses pretty quick.
Oh, this is a bad one. Because of people in the house rather than people in the yard. I'll lightly jog, I think. God, that's a bad one.
Opting for my tried and tested strategy of speed over discussion, I made swiftly for the relative safety of the farm track, but I was faced with another bad-looking hedgerow.
This is a really bad one.
It was another medium-sized hedge with a fence to stop you going under and branches too thick to part. So thick, however, that there might just be another way.
Oh, I feel really in view. But what else can I do? But climb on top. off. Okay, let's go. Just hope they didn't see that.
A few big open fields with favourable boundaries allowed me to maintain excellent pace, but with all that comes increased visibility.
Okay, pretty quiet around here. How close am I going to this monster of a farm? 100 metres. Very in view of this one, I think. Tell you what, if I can get through today, I will be absolutely over the moon, because I really don't want to do all this again. I really don't at this point. No signs of life at this farm just yet. No noises. But always a chance that someone's been watching me from the house. Okay. Well, they're like a big sturdy fence at this farm. And there's a car there. Hell, it never ends. It never ends, mate. I'm gonna jog.
Again, jogging might seem like overkill in this situation, but I was right to be cautious.
Oh, there's a moving tractor. He's coming, I think. What on earth do I do now? It's more hiding. More hiding and watching. There he is. He's gone round the back. Should I go? What's coming up? Is there a road? Yes, there is. But I'm inclined to keep watching his patterns for a bit longer. Does sound like he's further back that way. But if I go for this, I'm so exposed. Ah, is that a big pile of shit? I think he's doing what the last guy was doing. Shoveling shit. Oh, here he comes. Yeah, there he is. So let's see. If he comes out and does the same thing, I'm gonna go. There he is. Does he have shit? I think he does. So it's time to go, isn't it? It is time to go. Oh no, he's there. I nearly went then. Now he's got hay. So where's he taking the hay? Nowhere. There's just no way of me knowing now. There's no consistency. F***ing hell, mate, you hard-working hunk.
It took 13 minutes and a few back and forths for me to be confident the tractor was definitely heading around the back, but eventually there was a trend.
Yeah, I'm going.
200 lung-bustingly quick and slightly uphill yards later, in view of another house, I reached the safety of the road.
Okay, I've got to say this is a lot of fun, but it's torturing me as well.
I took a well-earned break here, hoovering up energy gels whilst watching the farmer, who was still visible, shunt tyres with great satisfaction.
He actually would have seen me the whole way across.
Then another satisfying vehicle came into view.
Hello?
And they could not have picked a more comical time to pay me a visit.
Ben, I've literally just evaded him. It's been like Mission Impossible.
Okay, maybe that was a slight exaggeration, but it's safe to say that the farming activity today was a lot livelier than I'd imagined, and getting through it was requiring some serious stealth and a healthy slice of luck, to be honest. So far, I had just about managed to stay within the platinum zone, but the day was far from over. We were less than halfway through day one, in fact, and there was still plenty of farmland and properties to get through, as well as some big forests. Be sure to tune in to next week's episode, where my luck in the farmland surely begins to run out, and horrendous fallen log sections threaten to put a premature end to the mission.
Oh, what's that? That's a van up there. They will have seen me. That's a dog. Do I stand atop these things? No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it to myself. It's too dangerous. You know, that's far down. I don't know what this means for the mission, but it could mean the end.